For us, what we want to do is provide a digital experience to our patients. And we also know that Rotherham has some of the least internet usages in the country. So having a multimodal method of patients being able to contact us, I think is really, really important for the NHS. Netcall do a few things for us to help us sort of move that sort of shift. So modernised our contact centre technology. What's really cool now is when patients call up, we can see a brief summary of their background in real time. It makes the agents a lot more efficient. But then what's really exciting is the work we've done with radiology booking, where members of the public who now see their GP who requires an X-ray in real time can book that dynamically into our hospital. Makes us more efficient, more productive.
So within the radiology department at the NHS Foundation Trust, our systems were analogue. We used traditional telephone lines, which led to queues. It led to a poor experience for patients and for staff. By introducing the digital Netcall system, it introduced the department to a wealth of additional features of which a traditional telephone system doesn't provide.
When we went with the problem around diagnostic booking from GPs, Netcall very, very quickly were able to engage with us and come with solutions and build something a bit customised for us in the first instance very, very quickly.
Before we had the waiting list validation module in Patient Hub, we focused on validating our waiting list manually, which is very labour intensive. Now we're able to validate large chunks of our waiting list through technical means, which is much quicker, and it means that our waiting list is more accurate and up to date. So when we're sending letters through Patient Hub, we have about 80% digital read rate with our patients. For the 20% that don't engage digitally, we have an automatic fallback to print and post those letters out to the patient.
We found that 30% of patients were using the online booking portal once it had started to be used. This reduced the number of calls through to the radiology clerical team, reducing call waits and improving the patient experience. By providing an easier online method for patients to book their own X-ray appointment from their phone at the time of choosing, we found that we had more patients attending the X-ray department and making their appointments than ever before.
Waiting lists in the NHS, as everyone knows, are larger than they've been in a very long time, so we would be looking at trying to validate upwards of 30,000 pathways, which is an impossible task to do manually. We don't have the resource to do that. So with Patient Hub, we've been able to take a large portion of that validation and do it digitally. And this has had a dramatic impact on our waiting list. When we first introduced waiting list validation with Patient Hub, we reduced our waiting list by over 2,500 patients.
I think what's really important is that when an NHS does this sort of stuff, we check in with our patients and our users to make sure it's the right thing to do. And the feedback's been amazing, right from 18-year-olds to 80-year-olds, and 90% sort of satisfaction, please use the technology.
I think what's been surprising for us in radiology is how easy the system has been to use, and the acceptance by patients using the online booking portal from their phone had been that easy to use. Patients couldn't believe it was that simple.
Patient Hub has been really easy to implement. We've had a lot of technical support from the company in deploying these modules, and they're all really easy and intuitive to use.
We also enjoy working with companies like Netcall, who are innovative and sort of forward thinking. I think that looking forward, as the NHS, like Rotherham, interacts with our patients in an increasing digital way, that gives us access to a wider range of data and information about those people. So we can then look at leveraging technology, maybe such as AI going forward, about how we can better be more efficient and provide more tailored sort of services.
So our next steps with Patient Hub are to introduce inpatient and day case appointment notifications and messaging, and also another module which will help us reduce our DNA rate. So this system will use artificial intelligence to understand which patients are least likely to attend their appointments, and then we can tailor communication packages specifically to those patients.
If a massive value for money or what the ROI is, I think the way we sort of see that, it is worth it. Patients do want to interact with us digitally, and it makes us more efficient, more productive, and we can actually get more management intelligence from our public. So for me, it's a bit, why wouldn't you want to do it this way?
What we've found is that patients really like Patient Hub. They're used to receiving communications digitally from so many different services that they use now, and they were very ready for this within the NHS. And so I guess what I would say to other organisations that were looking on embarking on this journey is that it will be very gratefully received from your patients.
I would say it is an essential to have in your department. It will allow patients the empowerment to be able to book their own appointments themselves. It will reduce the volume of calls you have on your booking line and overall provide much better satisfaction for your staff and for your patients.